Hi guys, Mulos here. So today's video I'm going to talk about the tax amnesty that ZRA is running. They started running it from 1st October and it's running all the way up to 31st March. And in this video I'm going to talk about why as a taxpayer you need to make sure that you try to get these amnesties before 31st December 2022. I'll explain why in this video, and I'll also show you how you are able to check if you are owing any penalties, have outstanding returns for turnover tax, income tax, withholding tax, and pay as you earn. All right, so before I even get to that, let me just clarify a few things and mention a few things. One, this is a DIY or do it yourself sort of tutorial for those who are able, competent to do it themselves. In case you can't do it yourself, there's no harm in admitting that. Try to engage somebody who will actually do it for you professionally. Okay, so the main reason why I emphasize that you need to get your penalties normalized, rectified, or enter into a time to pay agreement with ZRA before December 31st is a very, very simple reason. Come January 1st, 2023, if you are an entrepreneur or a business that needs a tax clearance certificate, it's going to be very, very difficult to get one. You most likely will not be able to get a tax clearance certificate if you've got outstanding returns, principal amounts, penalties, and outstanding interest. So the best time to normalize your accounts or enter into a time to pay agreement with ZRA to normalize them is now. So immediately we get to 31st December 2022 or the end of 31st December 2022 into the new year. If you've got no issues on your tax account, you'll be able to apply for a tax clearance certificate, which will be given to you. But if you're going to have outstanding issues, it will be difficult. And then you know how it is. There's going to be a rush of people trying to apply, going to ZRA offices, queuing up and all. But you can be ahead of the curve if you just do these things before December 31st. 2022. You're going to need a tax clearance certificate for ZPPA. You're going to need one for CEEC. You're going to need one for CDF. You're going to need one to be a supplier for any reputable institution in Zambia. If you don't get a tax clearance certificate in January, you possibly could lose out quite a bit of business. And one simple way to get a tax clearance certificate in January is to normalize your tax accounts before the end of the year. So now, when it comes to tax accounts, there are two types of tax accounts you're going to have. You have those registered December 2019 onwards and those registered before December 2019. So if you registered in December 2019, most likely you have very few penalties, if any, and most likely you actually don't even have penalties. The reason for this is that tax returns for December 2019 were due in January 2020. That's pay as you earn, turnover tax, withholding tax, and some of these other tourism levies, insurance levies, and those. What happened in January 2020, if you remember, ZRA launched this new system, the Tax Online 2, and the launch was very, very chaotic. So as a result of that, ZRA had to sort of compromise and basically give everyone a tax clearance certificate while they sorted out their systems. And then fast forward a few months, we went into the COVID pandemic, which had restrictions, work from home, and added chaos to the mix. So ZRA was very, very lenient. And then they actually came up with what they called the COVID waivers, where they were not slapping penalties for late return submission, late payment, and the likes. So that's why I say that if you are registered December 2019 onwards, most likely you fall under the COVID waivers and were not incurring any penalties from that period. But if you were registered prior to December 2019, then you were submitting returns in the old system, and that old system was slapping penalties and the like. So I'll show you a number of cases as we go on. All right, so let me start with my personal TPIN. This is my Mr. Muller's TPIN. So ZRA, you're going to have different types of interface. Some of them will look like this, some of them will not look like this. So you see here that I've got a pending liability of 200 kwacha for a return. This was a return for, I think, 2 months ago. But anyways, let me show you how you're able to check your tax account. All you need to do is just come here under accounting. You can click on accounting. You can go here to legacy account statement. So here under legacy account statement, you're going to choose from the drop down menu here. You're going to choose the tax type. So in this case, I'll look at turnover tax. This other drop down menu here, you click it. You're going to choose turnover tax or whichever tax you have chosen. You see here it says I've got 2 unfiled legacy returns. You can either click the view details to save time. Okay, so it's going to tell me that I've got 2 unfiled returns in the legacy system. Forgive me guys, I live on a farm. Those chickens will not stop making noise. Please bear with me. So it's showing me that I've got 2 outstanding returns, one for May 2018, one for October 2018. So at my earliest convenience, I need to do a manual return submission. I need to submit these returns manually at the nearest ZRA. In my case, it would be ZRA head office on Kalambo Road. So if you've got outstanding returns here, you need to submit these returns. They will not slap penalties on you for this, but you will not get your tax clearance if you have these outstanding returns. Anyway, so back here, let me put the date. If you click here on the month where it says April 2020, it's going to take you to the year. You click on this. You can then search for you can then search for the year. So let me just start January 2010. I'm not sure when I got my TPIN, but it was somewhere within that range. Then I can put it up to, since it's a legacy return, I can just go up to November 2019. You can go up to the current date if you want, but I'll just do this. Anyway, so continue to account statement. All right, so this is my legacy statement. So you see here that I had late returns for November 2015, and during the previous tax amnesty in 2017, I did apply for waivers and my penalties were forgiven. So you see here, I also had another penalty here, which was also forgiven in 2017. So this is the second time ZRA is doing penalty waiver. So it's not the first time, it's the second time. I'll come back to that issue later. So this is a turnover tax return. You can generate a CSV statement, you can print it, you can copy and then paste onto Excel, but you'd be able to see all your basically returns here. And if I scroll down, I'm just checking here for what the cumulative balance is to see where or when I do have penalties. I got practically everything forgiven in the previous waiver exercise. Okay, so here there was this period here. This was 20th July 2027. So I had a late penalty of 1,200. This is a late return penalty for submitting the return late, and that's when my balance now became 1,200. And then I had another one slapped on what period is this? This is also July 2017. There was also a 900 kwacha added, so it became 2,100. Then there was another one added here in 2018 February, 300 kwacha, it then became 2,400. Then there was another late return penalty on September 2019, 75 kwacha. So as you can see, my penalties outstanding with ZRA is 2,475. Now, I will not get anything forgiven or written off until I settle what I owe in the principal or the taxes basically. So if you come here, in case you've got this interface, it's going to show you the number of outstanding returns you have, the outstanding taxes you need to pay, and all of that. So I cannot get my 2,000 plus penalties waived until I've settled my principal amount. So this is what I reported as my income, and this was the tax calculated on some of my income. So I need to pay this before I can get those penalties forgiven. So this was for turnover tax. This is another tax account. So this one is registered for withholding tax, income tax, and pay as you earn. And as you can see, it's an active account. We'll come down here to accounting, legacy account statement. You see here that there's no outstanding returns. Everything is okay, but the outstanding return liabilities from 20 2019. If you come here under legacy account statement, so I'm going to choose 3 different tax types. I'm going to show you pay as you earn, withholding tax, and income tax. This one has got penalties on all. We'll start first with income tax, and we'll put this one from 2010, or rather we'll put it from 2000 just in case. So January 2000 up till November 30th 2019. Then you see here that there are 2 unfiled legacy returns. We can view the details. All right, so it's saying that there is the 2018 return is outstanding and the 2019 return is also outstanding, but these were submitted. So sometimes when you submit returns, you'll find that there will be these errors given. The 2018, I can confirm it's submitted because I even do have a stamped acknowledged copy of that. The 2019 return was filed in this new system. So these are just errors which you might face. So sometimes don't go and shout at the accountants or your people handling your tax like you never submitted these returns. Sometimes it's just the system is a bit wonky and they don't actually update. So that's why it's very important to keep your records so that you can easily sort these things out. Anyway, so back to this. Let me continue to the account statement. Okay, so this one here, let me just scroll down. You start to see the penalties build up. Those here, basically a late penalty of 400 kwacha. As we scroll down, you see that penalties keep getting accrued. And as at the end of November 2019, the penalties were about 13,745. Okay, so now we're going to check out the pay as you earn. Okay, so here we are on pay as you earn. You see that it started with the first date I picked. There was a penalties of 14,000. We're going to scroll all the way down. Now you see here that the total penalties and interest accrued so far as at 30th November 2019 was 1 million plus. So this account, they could not get penalty waivers during the 2017 waiver exercise because there were outstanding principals, outstanding returns and all. But from that time to now, they have cleaned up the account, submitted all the missing returns and all, and they will take advantage of this penalty exercise. Okay, so now we're going to check the withholding tax. Then you see here from the withholding tax, there were also penalties here. Started with 6,900, go all the way down. You see here that it ended the period with 121,000 in penalties. So all I'm trying to show here is that if you are an old TPIN holder for any of these returns, you can simply check here under accounting legacy account statement. You'll be able to see your outstanding returns, and you'll also be able to see whether you're owing any principal, penalties or interest. And then you have up to December 31st to rectify them. On paper, you have up to 31st March to rectify, but the simple reality is that you are going to need tax clearance certificate by 1st January. So that's why I still maintain you need to rectify these things before then. Okay, so like I've said in this video, with the ZRA tax portal, with the ZRA tax online tool, it's very easy to DIY or do it yourself on your tax returns. If you are able, competent, and know what you're doing, it's highly recommended you do that. But if you're not able to, please do find or engage the person who can do it competently. And always keep records of the returns that you file. ZRA will be sending you email notifications. When you make payments, keep those records as well. ZRA will be sending you email notifications. Try to back them up, because sometimes the systems, you find that records do get lost, corrupted or distorted, and you may be accused of having not submitted returns or making your payments when in actual fact you did. Then also remember that for the past 2 years or so, from January 2020, ZRA hasn't been slapping penalties. So a lot of people, businesses, got used to not normalizing their tax accounts, and they'll still get tax clearance certificates as long as they were up to date with returns, even if there were outstanding principal amounts and all. So this is coming to an end. So it's not, then also you need to realize that the eventual aim of ZRA was to normalize their system and return to the normal way of doing things, where they would slap penalties for late returns, slap penalties for late payments, not issue tax clearance certificates if your tax account was not normalized. So It's not political, it's just the way the system is. COVID happened, the new system happened, and that was the actual anomaly. So please, please, please try to normalize your tax accounts and engage the competent people who can do it. And from time to time, do check, log into your tax account and check whatever issues are outstanding so that you sort of get to have normal tax accounts with zero penalties, zero interest, and all. And then also bear in mind that ZRA is actually a very competent organization. The staff there are really, really helpful. Depending on where you are, sometimes the staff are overwhelmed, the queues are really, really massive. But sometimes some places like East Park, Cosmopolitan, you find that the queues are a little bit smaller and you're able to get attended to faster. So do try to have your issues sorted out so that you don't need to be in a panic when the time comes, like 1st January 2022. Try to sort out your issues now. Try to get to find out what your issues are. Engage ZRA if you can in good time. Engage competent tax advisors in good time if you can. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. Do let me know in the comment section if it was helpful, anything that I missed and all, and I'll try to cover it in a subsequent follow-up video. But remember, for general queries, please just ask in the comment section and I will reply you. But if it's a business inquiry and all, you can get in touch in the contact details down below. Thanks for watching guys. Mulos, bye.